You're listening to the Franchise Freedom Podcast with Giuseppe Grammatico.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, your franchise guy, the show where we help corporate executives experience time and financial freedom via franchising. Thanks for joining us today. Today is an interesting topic, and I got this question, and we're answering it just like I promised, and we do every single week. And that question is, why should you not own a franchise? And that's a fantastic question. You know, this show isn't about everyone buying a franchise and which franchise should they choose. It's really figuring out if a franchise is the right fit. So, you know, for those, for everyone listening in, why you should not own a franchise, and think about what a franchise is. And this may be, maybe you should own a business, but, for those looking at a franchise for a quick fix to fix their problems, they're just going to throw some money at a business and expect it to kind of run on its own while you focus on other things. I would not own a franchise. For those that feel a franchise does not have any risk, I would not own a franchise. For those that can't follow a process, and that starts with our simple process of figuring out together if a franchise is a good fit and what those franchises look like, and those models and roles and things like that. If you cannot follow a process, a franchise is probably not a good fit. If you don't have access to any capital, a business requires capital. A franchise is going to require a franchise fee, and you don't necessarily maybe need the entire amount for the entire investment. You typically need enough to cover the franchise fee, and could be done via a loan, which we talk about in other episodes, or retirement, conventional loan, SBA loan, home equity lines of credit, portfolio loans, the list goes on. But if you don't have any access to liquidity and or have a net worth or something you can leverage, like the equity in your home, a franchise and or a business may not be a good fit. Now, that is something where obviously could change, and down the road, once you create that nest egg, that savings account. But the whole point in that is keeping, franchising, we call it an industry, but really franchising is a playbook in a certain business, right? There's mosquito spraying franchises, and then there's standalone mosquito spraying companies. There's roofing franchises, and there's businesses non-franchise that offer roofing. So the advantage of the franchise is not just the playbook, but realizing what that value proposition is. It's going to be the playbook, the blueprint on how to run that business, policies and procedures. It may be turnkey in-house marketing. It may also be a call center, a coach that works with you virtually as well as in person, traveling on appointments. It's a mastermind getting together with like-minded other franchisees in the system, whatever that number is, at an annual conference, and sharing ideas from different backgrounds and industries and things like that. So the franchise brings a lot to the table, but those that feel, well, why do I have to pay a franchise fee? I can do it on my own. You have that right. You can start that business, that roofing business, on your own. You won't benefit from the trial and error and the investments which, by the way, is going to be much, much greater, exponentially greater than the investment you'll make. But at the franchisor level. But if you want to create on your own, so be it. You may just want to stay in your smaller market, in your current state, and be content with maybe the county you live in. So, franchising is really a way or a vehicle to get you up and running in less time with support. There's always going to be that risk, but if you take into consideration buying the right franchise, and that's a franchise that's a good fit for you via your skill set, it's in your investment range, and we talk about this on other episodes. So not only the fit and doing the appropriate and proper due diligence of speaking with franchisees, speaking with the franchisor, meeting the founders of the company, and speaking with various and digging deep, not just what your experience is, but what made you say that? There seems to be a reason you had mentioned that. Diving deep into these conversations and really doing the due diligence on your own. A franchise could potentially be a great fit, but I want to be clear that it's not just that. I try to convince everyone into franchising. Sometimes the standalone business. Sometimes I've talked to people where I said, you know what, you're very hesitant to take risk. You've been sitting on the information for a while. You may not have support from home, right? Because you need to get everyone on board and let them know that, mom or dad or whoever's involved in the business, you're going to be putting a lot of hours in. We may have to tighten the belt a little bit the first year as the business ramps up and everything is reinvested. But you need to make sure that everything is aligned. And sometimes the job, maybe it's just a different job. With what you're doing right now, it's either the wrong business or a different role from sales to operations or vice versa. So, these are, I kind of say this, and why you shouldn't own a franchise. There's many advantages, but there's also people that really shouldn't. And for people that are, this doesn't always work in my market, you really need to be open. A franchise is built to be run, especially we're covering here the U.S. and Canada, so. To really work. And I'm not saying every single market will work, but odds are it's going to work in most markets. So be really open as to how we can work, how the franchisor is different, what's the key kind of differentiators, how will they support me? Just because we're in the same industry of roofing, well, one business may do it different. That one role of one company may have you on the roof repairing the shingles, and the other one is not having ever get on a ladder and really oversee the KPIs and the marketing and the financials and things like that. So really digging deep. And I think the people that end up moving forward with the franchise are open-minded. They really want to say, great, what do you have? What is out there? I'm in the financial services space, but I'm open to just about anything as long as it helps me achieve my goals. And I feel like those people that are really open, willing to follow a system. For example, I had a question the other day on the first call. They wanted to speak with franchisees, and I said, well, that's usually not the typical process of a franchise company. The franchise company, the franchisor, has a process, and they really want you to learn the business via 2, 3, maybe 4 phone calls before you speak with franchisees. Why? So you make the most of your time with the franchise owner. Be respectful of their time and know what questions to ask. You may have a lot of your questions answered in those 2 to 4 phone calls, but now you can get a little bit specific and ask, the appropriate questions, and again, being respectful of that franchise owner's time, because at some point you're going to return that favor and speak with potential future franchisees for that brand. So, there's really a process, and people that can't follow that simple process, I come back and say, maybe a franchise at this time isn't the right fit, just because that's really what it is. You're an extension of their brand, and you're essentially following and buying the processes that have been implemented and created via trial and error and money, and not just money, but time at the franchisor. So those are my my reasons for not owning a franchise. Obviously, we know the benefits, and we kind of talked about it at the same time of why you shouldn't own a franchise. And if you're stuck on one area or have a specific question, reach out to me. More than glad to answer those questions. Go to the website, ggthefranchiseguide.com. Book a call with me in 20 minutes. If you just want to go over some questions, be more than glad. Obviously, you have access to the show, the book, of the workshop. Our entire process is going to be launched on the new website. A little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to follow, including kind of where you're at. If you're an existing business owner, if you're a corporate executive looking for side income, or if you're looking to leave full-time, we cover that specifically depending on your situation. So that's a whole nother build out of the new website that I actually forgot to mention in the 2024 update. So looking forward to that. Hit me up, let me know what questions you have, shoot me a message. If it's your specific question, specific situation, something you're coming across, let's chat and let's work on it together. That's my gift to you. Let's figure out together if a franchise is the right fit going into 2024. Happy holidays, everyone. We have one more show. And we'll wrap up the year. Looking forward to chatting and seeing you guys, reading your comments, and continuing with the show. Again, if you found this show helpful, give us a like, a share, email someone maybe this link, someone that may find this beneficial, that maybe needs to hear this at this point, and maybe they're not ready to talk to me, but they want to download the book. Created it for you. There's no cost for anything we do. So let me know if I can help in any other way, or if there are any future topics you'd like me to tackle going into 24. Thanks again, everyone. Appreciate the support, and talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways Giuseppe can help. 1. If you've ever considered owning a business of any kind, you owe it to yourself to get a copy of Giuseppe's book, Franchise Freedom. Download your free copy at ggthefranchiseguide.com/book. 2. Want to understand how successful executives make the transition from corporate to owning their own franchise? Join Giuseppe's next online presentation, Franchise Freedom: How to Escape the Corporate World and Have Financial and Time Freedom by Owning a Franchise, by going to ggthefranchiseguide.com/video. 3. Want to work with Giuseppe one-on-one to identify the right franchise opportunity for you, to navigate the process, and get plugged into experienced franchising advisors? Send him an email to gg@ggthefranchiseguide.com with one-on-one in the subject, and he'll send you all the details.